Last week, the teachers called off their strike. And they were saying, as part of what they said is, we are calling off the strike, waiting for Parliament to resolve our issue. And they gave a 2 weeks, timeline within which they would expect Parliament to have discussed and resolved this matter. Right Honourable Speaker, I have not heard this in your communication, and I'm wondering which way we are moving. Because, Right Honourable Speaker, it's very sad, us being in campaigns, and you see children loitering in the villages. The children are not in school. Even now when the strikes have been called off, Right Honourable Speaker, the motivation by the arts teachers to actually teach is not there. So, Right Honourable Speaker, this is third term. It's very unfortunate that there is a bit of silence. The last time the Minister of Education was here, the Honourable Moriku, and indicated that the executive was handling this matter. I don't know how far they are with this matter, but it's a serious issue, Right Honourable Speaker, that children in private schools, our children are going to school, and the children in the public schools are actually seated at home, or in school, but not learning. So, Right Honourable Speaker, how I wish that we can actually respond to the teachers' cry. This disparity is not a good one. Paying teachers differently, we have discussed this matter here. We have discussed this matter here, Right Honourable Speaker. We must resolve this, discriminatory pay among the arts and science teachers. I am not just campaigning. I have spoken about this before. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. And thank you so much for that kind reminder, Honourable Sarah. Indeed, the teachers petitioned Parliament, and the Right Honourable Speaker invoked her authority under Rule 31, Sub-Rule 7 of our Rules of Procedure, where she referred it to the committee. And why I'm saying thank you for reminding me, I think it's under Sub-Rule 8 of Rule 31. The Speaker is supposed to inform the House what she did. So I want to take this opportunity to inform the House that indeed 2 petitions, one from UNATU, another one from the Union for TVET Teachers, were received and referred to the Committee for Education for further management and reporting back to the House. On the same, yes, Honourable Segona.
I really want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, but my concern is that the executive seems to be hiding behind us, behind our curtains. Why? Because I'm conversant the Constitution would not allow us privately as Parliament to bring any motion that has that touches the past. Now, when they meet the ministers tell them that the key lies with Parliament. Now, isn't this intended to make us look ugly in the eyes of the public? When they bring the petition, we debate it. Why don't we just ask the executive to tell us, to give us the budget, and we find that money? Simply. Otherwise, we are going to look ugly and answer for some other people's offenses.
Thank you. Yeah, I know the limitation is under Article 93 of the Constitution, limitations on matters of financial implication, but then that would be maybe one of the recommendations, okay, from the committee, that government, please do whatever you did in the budget and look for the money, okay? So because when the teachers refer a petition to you, under Rule 31, the Speaker could refer it to the Minister, could refer it to the committee, but the teachers requested that they want the committee to dig deeper. So this was a committee on its own, and that's what the teachers wanted. So what we did is what they wanted. And then their recommendations are what we shall refer to the executive for further action. And I hope we can do that within the time the Speaker provided. Honourable Sewungu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also want to pay tribute to the late Raila Odinga And I can never forget that while in TDA, when we had fronted one of the former prime ministers of Uganda, Mama Mbabazi, my former boss, Nobati Mao, was among that arrangement in Kenya, convincing Kanokiza Besigye and Mbabazi to leave Mbabazi to be the flag bearer for TDA. So today I'm seeing him, the green tires changed a little, it is turning yellow slow, on a slow but sure dose. But I pay tribute to the late. And of course, when you see my former boss talking, I enjoy the NRM members. They are saying, you continue talking. We have said it all, now start the journey yourself. We are watching you on our mouth. Mr. Speaker, sir, from your communication, the Amama Mbabazi case in court, I don't want to quote the citation, but when the Attorney General is aware of that. One of the major recommendations that have not been followed by government was giving equal opportunity and rights to the candidates on national media and national paper. New Vision, whenever we have Mabinizi, Munyagwa, my president, they are posted on page 20 of the paper, and the sitting president is given a full share of the first page. But the ruling, the judgment in the Supreme Court said that Uganda television, government media must give equal opportunity to all flag candidates in the election. And when you give Chagwe on the front page, New Vision will sell more than any other. That's a fact. They will sell and it's business. So that goes to the Attorney General. Then, Mr. Speaker, about education and the strike, because remember I came to your office. Nobody should mislead any member here, including the State Minister of Education, because we are a shadow minister for that. Teachers are teaching in school. Whether they went back, but they are not teaching. There is going to school and there is teaching at school. The moment you don't know those two, then you don't know what it means, what is in education. What we need to solve as members of Parliament, like it or not. I was in Kakumiro, and in the very school where the Prime Minister studied from, it was the head teacher teaching P7 children with no knowledge of what actually she was teaching. Because I saw her, I followed her, and I asked her, what many subjects have you been teaching? She said, I'm just helping these students as they help themselves. Because I don't teach social studies. A P7 teacher or P6 can be good at math when he's weak at SST or English. And the question goes to the minister, through Mr. Speaker. We are going for exams, PLE. What is going to come out of UNEB? Because UNEB sets exams depending on the syllabus and the curriculum they give the children. Here we are, P7 candidates are going for PLE, but they have not been studying, but they will be graded after PLE. And what will happen? Still you will create another situation of result 1, result 2 to hide the performance of children. Mr. Speaker, sir, in a sober mind, if we are sober, we cannot have any other activity in this country other than first addressing the cause of parents going to work every morning. Why do you leave your home? Why is the Attorney General here? Why is the Nokatumba Wamara here? Because he is looking for money to cater for his children. When you educate a child, you educate a nation. Here we are. We are all stuck and the children are playing. You ask a P7 child, who is going to sit PLE? The difference between a mosquito and a fly. He says a mosquito can fly, but a fly cannot mosquito. And he's going to sit PLE. In 1 year they gave them multiply 2 times 3 horizontal. And the child asked an examiner, there is a mistake on this number. Because he knows 2 times 3 must be 2 times 3. When it went horizontal, he said there is a mistake in this paper. Those challenges come from teachers. What is taking place when I'm in schools? Children are teaching themselves using booked papers, past PLE. I know it touches it. When I charity, you and I, our children are enjoying their schools very well.
Honorable, please,
Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, for me,
you know, honorable colleagues, I usually tell you, if you have your side talk, don't put it on the answered. Please, if you have side talk, you can always talk your way, but don't import it. Because this Hansard, researchers will use it, your children will use it. Now they will ask themselves, what was this? How did this come in? How did Honorable Charity come in? Just conclude, Honorable.
So, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry, I know I don't do that. But because one time I taught many soldiers' children, I was teaching in the army for 10 years. Whenever I see soldier like General and others, I give them a to speak because I taught their children. And when they meet me, they buy me even a bottle of beer because of the work I did. That was my work. So my prayer, Mr. Speaker, my prayer, honorable members, the front page, cabinet, can you sit and solve this challenge? Can we sit and solve this challenge once and for all? We had it during the 9th Parliament, where we had the Prime Minister Mama Mbabazi. They said, let us give this years in a phased manner, 15%, 15 until we acquire the 100%. But look at the 400,000 we increased in 2011 is the same amount given to a primary teacher. There is no secondary teacher or university teacher.
Honorable, your conclusion is longer than. No, but Rope, I know you're a pastor. Your shadow minister has said he takes a little. Maybe if you can help me, you call him to order.
On another day, I'll call him to order over that. Right, Honourable Speaker, I thought this information is very important, even as we ingest this issue. When the petition was handed over to the Speaker, she made a commitment, I saw on the news, that this matter of the teachers' pay is going to be handled in the next financial year budget. Now, what's confusing here is that should be commitment from government, because the substantive minister of finance is the head of state. However, that authority is delegated. Is the Minister of Finance, who is represented here, committing, because it would be good that he commits. Parliament should not commit on their behalf. Are you committing that you're going to handle this matter in the next financial year, so that then the teachers, they take that commitment and agree, okay, we are going to wait for next financial year, or no, we are not taking that commitment, we want the pay now. That's important. Because also, the Minister of Finance can commit also to say, okay, we are going to bring a supplementary schedule here. Honourable Speaker, every financial year, we normally have several supplementary schedules, sometimes up to 5 trillion shillings. There are dockets in this country which consume their annual budget in 3 months, in 1 quarter. State House, Office of the President, you always bring supplementary schedules here. After 3 months, 1 quarter. And you wonder, why do we even budget like that? Why are we bad-mannered financially? You plan, no, this is what you need, and so on. The minister can also commit and say, okay, let's go and see where we can scout out for money, and we bring a supplementary here. The point is, government should give the teachers some kind of commitment, which then they will sit in their meeting and say, they have committed, they are bringing a supplementary in 1 month's time. Do we wait? They are saying in the next financial year, do we agree or disagree? I think it will help when government gives that commitment.
Thank you. Now, Honorable Op, the Speaker, whatever commitment she made outside the floor, okay, cannot be now answered here. That's number one. Number two, this is a matter which was referred to the committee. And the committee is going to meet Minister of Education, Minister of Public Service, Minister of Finance. Now, sub-rule 4 of Rule 86 of our Rules of Procedure is very clear on anticipation that a matter that is before a committee, we cannot come and discuss it here. So now I cannot call any minister to come and make a commitment when he has not yet appeared before the committee has presented the report. So this will be an issue which the minister will answer once the report is brought here within 2 weeks. So please, Honorable Seungu raised issues, allow me to first sort that. And colleagues, we have an order paper. Okay, I'm saying we are getting out of the order paper. But because I know we are in elections and we might not have time quickly, that's why I allowed a few issues to be raised. I wish we could be quicker so that I give colleagues a chance. So, start Honorable Minister for ICT. I saw Honorable Kabyanga here. a complaint that New Vision is only giving one candidate front page and others are not getting, which is maybe Attorney General was here. You can help us. You respond to that. Let me first handle this issue.
Thank you, Right Honourable. Right Honourable Speaker. I've heard what the Honourable Member has raised. I think government has done its part in implementing this provision. I think obviously the newspaper's challenge is that it has to give you an equal opportunity, but you must make news. So you must first make news, then they can run the news. So, but I am going to try and read the newspapers and see if there was any news that they left out, and I will go back to New Vision, tell them you missed this news. So we are going to follow it up. Thank you.
Honorable Muyingo on issues, but issues of teachers were referred to the committee. So let them be handled at committee. Honorable Question, then Honorable Dur.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable. Respect to the ruling that you have given over the matter of teachers. Right Honourable, wouldn't it be procedurally right that since you gave guidance last time before you adjourned the House on the 17th of September for the Ministry of Education,
Order.
you had guided that the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Public Service, Ministry of Finance get on together and come up with the report that you are talking about? Wouldn't it be procedurally right that we give them a time frame, Mr. Speaker, because the issue of the teachers is very hot on the ground? Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's not the ministries come up with the report. It's a committee. The petition was referred to the committee, and in 2 weeks' time, we need that report. Honorable Dur.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, Mr. Speaker, in regard to your communication, I want to take exception with the response from government. There were 2 critical issues raised of similar nature: the partisan nature of the civil servant and the soldier. On the issue of the civil servant, the minister was very emphatic in saying we are going to cause an investigation and take sanctions. But regarding the behavior of those in military uniform, I think the response was cagey. Now, last time I had raised an issue where the military vehicle was used in transporting members of a political party. We are here, we have friends who are in military uniform. Myself, for example, my friend Brigadier Charity and Henry Masiko have been asking to go and support me, but I've been telling them, no, you can't. At this moment, because of the law which restricts them. So
Order.
So, yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah, I thought that
they are here. It's up to them whether they want to confirm it or not, but they are here.
Yeah, they are my good friends. But because of the law that prohibits them, they cannot. I think in that regard, we need that commitment that those officers in uniform who are violating will also be subjected to those procedures, investigations, and if they are found culpable, they can be dealt with. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, in regard to, I will give you, in regard, I'll give you just a moment. In regard to the conduct of the campaigns, Mr. Speaker, I thought I should also let you know, and Ugandans have seen, we are campaigning before children, and they are entitled to come and listen because these are people who are going to lead in the future. But the conduct, there are certain conducts, whether drama, that are happening right before our children. We have seen from political parties. I thought campaigns, you are going to speak to people's brains, but some members of political parties are speaking to different parts of the body in front of our children. And these are primary school children. I thought that government should actually take keen interest. We cannot continue that way, that this immoral conduct and etc. is happening right in our face. And I thought that while you appreciate the peaceful nature of the campaigns, I think the message and the conduct must also be clear. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to beg your indulgence before I allow my good friend Brigadier General Charity to come and inform the House of our arrangements. Mr. Speaker, I want to take advantage of the existence of the Minister of Justice here and the Attorney General. I remember when I raised the issue of overcrowding in prisons and then the long detention without trial. It touched you, Mr. Speaker, personally, and government had made a commitment that they would come back to us here with the list of every prisoner who has not been presented before court and those who are entitled to be released. First, to save us the cost of feeding the prisoners, but also to decongest the prison. This has not happened. It has taken really, really long. I raised this because we interacted with the judiciary. And when we asked them to tell us the number of people they have sent on remand, they told us they could not, that they are not aware. They need to go back and compare notes. Let me first take from Brigadier Charity, then I come to you.
I can see she's indeed your friend. She's even given first priority.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The issues that my brother here is raising, I am not aware, but I would like, all of you are, I would like to clarify something, that it is our mandate as the Uganda People's Defense Forces to provide security to all Ugandans. So if he needs our support in terms of security, yes, we shall provide it. I thank you.
And Brigadier Charity, you have capacity to investigate his statements, so go investigate.
Privilege to have the security by Brigadier Charity. After this house, I'm in charge, you are in charge of my security.
Right Honourable Speaker, the information I needed to give the Honourable Odul and the entire House relates to the fact that quite a number of these young men and women that were remanded by the court-martial have actually been denied the protection of the Constitution. Why? Because one, the court-martial which remanded them was said not to have had the powers, and therefore that makes their remand illegal. But quite a number have tried to apply to courts for bail, and two rulings of the High Court have been significant, to the effect that the court says we cannot grant bail to a person who has no file before us. No, not that. The High Court says we cannot grant you bail if you have no file pending, you have no criminal case pending before us. What that leaves is that these young people are going to remain in prison for as long as the police or the UPDF have not submitted their case files to the police and therefore transmitted to the DPP and arraigned formally. Again, what this means is that these people will never have any recourse anywhere, because they cannot go to court to say, my rights in prison have been violated. And just as a reminder, the decision of the Supreme Court was rendered on 31st of January this year. So you're coming to 10 months of jailing without the protection of courts of law. That information, I thought that information is very critical, that those people were simply dumped there. Actually, even the food, the money we are spending on them is illegal, because we can only provide for food for prisoners that are remanded legally. They are not in police custody, they are in a prison, but simply dumped and abandoned there. And the commitment of the Attorney General is very critical, because he said their files are going to be processed. So I don't know how long it takes government to process those files, unless they are saying half of Ugandans are in prison on that account. But if that is not the case, I believe we are talking about 500, 700 Ugandans, and I really wonder why it would take us close to a year to have their files processed and therefore arraigned before courts of law. It is also confusing on the part of court, because I understand there is one who was granted bail, then the two subsequent decisions of the High Court were that we cannot grant you bail because we do not know you in the first place. Court was simply shy. If I were in court, maybe they would have proceeded to say, now that we have learned somebody is in detention illegally, release him unconditionally, because that is the duty of court, to protect the law and the constitution. So I think it's a matter we need to take serious, and that's the information to you.
Thank you, Honorable Segona, for that elaborate information. I just want to conclude that the Constitution talks about a fair and speedy trial. So all we're asking government is that once you have incarcerated somebody, give them a chance to go and defend themselves. To lock somebody in prison for all those years without a chance to appear, and yet we have given a lot of money to we have increased the number of judges, number of magistrates, even prosecutors. All these mechanisms are available for these people to be tried. So let's have another commitment, and if possible, we get that list here so that those ones who deserve to come out are actually released. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So, Attorney General, remember when we had this issue here sometime back, where I think was from Honorable Mujite's constituency, yeah, the one they found at Ruzira, when we had sent a committee to look at the health status of Dr. Kiza Besigye. They found people who had been in prison for many, many years. You know, yes, there was, I think, one of 28 years and all that. And you said you would study indeed, and you come back, you look at that list. Oh, Chairman, Human Rights Committee, which read the committee is here. Honorable Fox Odoy.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we had a meeting with the Attorney General, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Uganda prisons, the judiciary, and we received a list of well over 5,000 people who have been detained for prolonged periods. So they supplied the list. We have it as a committee. We have prepared a report. It's ready to be presented to you, sir.
Yeah, but you see, what was very important was not only about giving us a list, was to take action as provided for under the law. So maybe if we could ask, because here, what would we resolve? To say, release? No, we can't order. We don't have that power. Yeah. So please, Attorney General.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, for the record, I want the record to note that there is no prisoner in prison who has not been there by virtue of an order of court. So we just need to be clear on that. Prisons receives warrants from courts. Now, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, we have been working with the DPP tirelessly. There are people whose cases we've taken nolle prosequi because the time they have been on remand may be longer than the time they would have served for the charge for which they have been. Number two, we have, like you said, we have increased the number of state prosecutors, but they are not as many as the courts that have been set up. Now you have a chief magistrate at every district, you have a G1 practically at every constituency, and that stretches the DPP quite a bit. But we are working, and in this year's budget, we have requested for more numbers to send more prosecutors. So the challenge is a person is in court, the magistrate is there, but probably we don't have a prosecutor there, but we're working on that as well. So yes, it is true we have provided the list, but we are working hard to try and, let me finish. We are working hard to get these people processed as fast as possible. I thank you, Right Honorable.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Honorable Gafabusa. Matters of national importance.
Procedure, Mr. Speaker.